Welcome one and all for all the guests, all our members, as well as our visitors who are in here today. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Mask Leadership, the Leaders Connect, episode 004, where leaders create more leaders. Thank you very much for joining in. And the Mask Leadership community is started with for the pure mission of creating 1,000+ leaders, where week after week, every Wednesday, we are inviting a top management leader from a various different corporate industries, and there is where they share their key success stories and the life experience, which is going to be inspiring our leaders in this community, as well as the visitors who are here visiting today. So with this particular mission is where we are creating more through our 360-degree assessment and through a one-on-one coaching. So my name is Prakash Sharma, the founder director of Beats Training and the author of the book, The Mask Leadership. So with this, if you all are ready to listen to our guest, Manvendra Singh. So let's type in the chat box, ready. So kindly type in the chat box, ready, if you all are ready to listen to Mr. Manvendra Singh, who is our guest here today. Yes, great. Thank you very much for sharing and ready. Very nice. So we are in here today, and there are more of other participants will be joining us. And as they join, we'll be admitting them. So let me share with you, we are live on YouTube, and this has been recorded as well as we are muted everybody. In fact, we are muted all, and we will be definitely giving you a permission to or interact with our guest, Mr. Manvendra Singh, during this particular meeting. And at that point of time, you'll be able to interact with him for any kind of questions. So on that note is what we are going to start. So let me give you a quick introduction on the personal side of Mr. Manvendra Singh, and then is where we will be starting our session. So Mr. Manvendra Singh is married to Ms. Shalini, and he has 2 kids, 1 son and 1 daughter. Hails from Mumbai, and his favorite sport has been more of an F1 racing, and he likes one of his role model is Gandhi. There are much more to understand and know more about his professional experience, how Manvendra Singh has constantly grown in his leadership career, what all has he been doing, and how can we listen to his success stories. Let's have a look at a video about Manvendra Singh first, and then we will be requesting Manvendra Singh to turn on his camera. So Manish, let's go ahead and play the video. Thank you very much, guests and visitors, as well as the members who are in here today. Please do type welcome Mr. Manvendra Singh on the chat box. And Manvendra Singh, thank you very much for turning on your video. So it's really been great. And it's a pleasure that you have been here on this particular platform, the Mask Leadership community. We're happy that you have been with us here, sir. Great. So Mr. Manvendra Singh, how are you, sir? All good? I would request you kindly unmute yourself, sir. Mr. Manvendra? Just a moment. We'll give you an option to unmute. Yeah. Sir, now we're able to speak?
Hi, can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. It's audible. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Prakash, for giving us the opportunity to interact with such an august house today. I can see lots of more learned people than me. It's not my opportunity. In fact, I'm the lucky one who will be exchanging lots of ideas from the people. So yeah, thanks for having me.
It's actually going to be vice versa, sir, definitely, but a lot of learnings from your side as well. Yes. So good. Sir, it's been quite a long time we've been interact also. Now let's, in fact, get into that, sir. Sir, as we understand, as a leader, you have been throughout different across industry experience you have got, sir. And as a leader, it's very necessary that whom we are leading, we need to bring them a lot of positive feelings within them. The people whom we're leading, that is our subordinates. So maybe understand what are the activities which we actually as a leader need to be doing so that our subordinates are feeling positive.
So Prakash, we are talking lots of key words here: leader, subordinate.
Yes.
But these are all vocabulary which we use in our behavioral day to day.
Right.
But ultimately, what I realized that we all are humans first of all.
Super.
And if I'm also an individual, how I believe, how I perceive, how I want to be treated, if I started thinking on those lines, and then when I start talking to my colleagues or with my peers, I'm able to understand where the gap is, where the management is thinking and where the employee is thinking, or something like that.
Okay.
So now the minute you start working as a human at that individual level, that person opens up. Because what I believe is each individual is unique.
Yes.
And they can do excellent work provided they are at their best. So my job as the team player or team leader, whatever you want to say, is to make that individual comfortable so that that person can now open up and then they can share what they are good at and we start getting good results. It's very, very simple. Unnecessarily we overcomplicate it with different processes. But no matter what these processes are, these are all enablers. If the potential of the individual, you can unfold it, the company takes the best of it, the employee has lots of satisfaction, the manager gets a very good team. It's a win-win for everyone. But everything is coming from that individual level, that human level. And then accordingly, you change your approach for that particular individual, what motivates him. I'll elaborate a bit more on this. And
Sure.
sorry, I'm trying to keep the topic very general.
Sure. No.
As we can see in the current pandemic environment, there is lots of fear going on about the infection, the vaccination, the precaution. So it's not around pandemic only. I think every individual is very scared for whatever reasons they have there in their own mindset. And there may not have to be any fear at all, because if you know the bigger picture, then you will not be scared. Now, those feelings, if you start making him rid of his fear, I'm telling you, then the true potential of the individual comes. And I've been lucky enough to unfold some of the true potential of individuals with whom I've been working for since last couple of years.
Great, great. If you can share that, that will be really enlightening for our members here as well. As how was that being possible?
Few examples which comes to my mind. India is a huge country. You said I'm from Mumbai. Yes, currently I'm staying in Mumbai, but actually I'm from Allahabad in northern India. And we met, I think, last time in Chennai, right, Prakash?
Yes, that's right, sir.
So when a North Indian comes to a South India, or when a South Indian is working in North India, it's same individual, but a very complex environment, right? So when I was in Delhi office and I found my colleague coming from Bangalore, such a meticulous, so organized, so systematic. But somewhere he was uncomfortable because North was very open, very vibrant, very aggressive. So slowly I made him understand that you are the key account manager. You have to be structured, you have to be organized. But at the same time, why are you so scared? Why are you so much into your own comfort zone? Believe me, we only worked for a couple of years together and we are still very good friends. We are in touch. And I can see lots of North Indian aggression influence on his personality. That's why, which is keeping him connected with me.
Okay.
Similarly, in organizations, maybe in sometime in sales, it's understood. I've been always in some different industries, like even liquor and tobacco, which is a bit uh, unconventional, and it is considered that only the guy's domain, girls can't do. So we encourage lots of diversity when I was in that particular industry. And you will not believe what we have come across is one of the best managers, and that too field managers, were the ladies who were running the show. So this tells us that it is the individual, it is not their sexual orientation and their regional orientation.
True.
It's especially about that individual, but was that individual convinced about that role? Did he or she were ever clear that she can do that? Now that is the role of the manager, to understand where we can utilize them well. They didn't join the organization for sales, let me tell you. Some of the examples, they joined in sales organization development, which is like a HR of sales. But going forward, when you are having a job rotation, giving them chance to learn new trades, and I realized that the person, individual, is very, very prepared for sales, field sales, and it was the right decision for both employee as well as the organization.
Good.
Now, these are few examples, but what I'm trying to tell you, that everyone has their own set of rules, uh, strengths, and how best the fitment can come out. It can be a win-win, not only in the corporate world, but also at a personal level. You will become fearless, you will be more effective,
Yeah.
and it's a win-win for both of us.
Definitely. Rightly told, in fact, sir, I just remember about one thumb rule, in fact, which is uh, we need to, if you have to overcome fear, we need to move towards fear. So in other words, move towards fear to overcome the fear. And that's where the fearlessness is what, which will be getting eradicated, in fact. So,
Correct.
yeah, rightly said. Good one, sir. So now that these positive feelings, now it's actually one
Now,
challenge people. Yeah,
sorry,
please.
Prakash, before you go ahead,
Yes.
I'm,
No.
I'm very conscious after seeing the profile of the viewers and the listeners, and I'm feeling very incapable, but still, since today is my day, I've got right to speak. These days in Corona,
Yes.
there's lots of web conferences going. So
True.
now you don't have option, you have to bear with me. So what I was saying is, fear, getting away with fear, getting into fear, these are all in your mind,
Yes.
right?
Agreed.
These are the vocabularies which we have conditioned it. Something which comes to us and we start shivering and we don't feel good. And then we think this is a fear. But it is our strength, it is our resilience which gave them the chance to believe in those words. So if you literally think of it, there is nothing called fear. The fear was within you, and when you shredded your fear, you became fearless.
Rightly said. So that means when we are having the capability, every human being has the potential, is what you're sharing, and it is we who need to start demonstrating. Very rightly said.
Because
And we will
because
definitely become fearless.
you
Is what
are
you're saying.
not Prakash
Great,
Sharma.
sir.
You
Sir.
are not an organization. You are yourself first.
Yes.
So just try to be real. I'm telling you, you will do justice in the body of Prakash Sharma, in this organization, in this role. But first, you should know yourself.
Perfect. Very relevantly told. Knowing self plays a very important role. Rightly said, sir. Sir, just one more point, in fact. But during these challenging situations, now was one of the challenging situations, but there are so many other challenging situations in every company, in sales. But if challenging situation comes, in fact, to my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, I've seen most of the people just get into the other aspects of negative feelings, like too much of tension, too much of stress, and they get panic. So, if even during challenging situations, how is it possible to stay or keep, in fact, with a lot of positive feelings? Is it possible, in fact? That's just a question, because there are situations going to come which is very, very challenging, but during such situations, is it also possible for us to keep ourselves with the positive feelings?
See, Prakash, the thing is, someone saw the potential in you. That's why you've been given a birth in human.
Yes.
And till that time you will be in human birth, the challenges will come,
Yes.
right? And if you've been 40 years, every year was challenging, but still you survived and you have learned from it and you have outgrown yourselves,
True.
right? So challenge is something which is making us tick. Just imagine if there's no challenge in our life, I don't think we will be very satisfied, right?
True.
So challenge is something which gives us the strength, the focus to overcome it. Now there is some how. So what challenge is what, but there's how to overcome these challenges. So there's a very structured process of focusing on which is within your control and not too much concerned about which is beyond your control, because that you are not going to help for challenge in any case.
True.
So now when you know that you have been given an X role and this is how you have to pursue it, you have to be consistent. Come what may, you have to finish it with your complete dedication and your perseverance. And you have no idea how impactful that ritual which you are doing regularly without even getting concerned about what is happening on the external factor. External factor was not dependent on you. It came, it will go.
Go. True.
But it is for everyone. But the way you have handled the external factor by focusing on your internal factors is going to make a difference. And this is where you remain positive during challenge time. You don't get so much attached to a particular situation, because situation was not a problem. You attached with the outcome of that situation, and outcome is not where you have a control. You only have a control over following your process. And if you are religious enough in your adherence, in your compliance, I'm telling you, you will be at least busy focusing on productive, and you will never get time to get unproductive and getting into some sort of a negativity. Now, these things are easier said than done.
True.
In a half an hour talk show, good words, because you have unmuted everyone, they can't challenge you, you can talk anything, right?
You will be unmuting them now, sir.
Sorry, you have muted everyone.
Yes.
That's why you can talk anything. But the point is,
True.
this is the only right we have. We can't let go. We are alive. That itself is beautiful. We are breathing. That is enough. We should not complain. The organization which gave us the role which we have got, we deserve it. But now we have some responsibility to fulfill it, keeping ourselves in control, following every step, setting an example for your team. I think there'll be no room for you for getting into any negativity. If you will always be occupied in your quadrant of important work, not urgent work, focusing, you will not get time for these negativities. The negativity comes because you were busy on non-important work, no matter how urgent it came. You started returning the phone calls, the phone call was not relevant, and you started getting into that trap. So you have to be very disciplined, and it's like a yagna. You have to do a practice, and the more you will start enjoying it, the smoother it will start becoming, and you will be asked to talk, no matter how good or bad you talk.
True, very relevantly said. In fact, these all are connected factors. So I have one more question, Manvendra sir. In fact, in case if you wish to talk to them also, we can unmute them. Do let us know. And before that, the next question.
No, I am feeling about them that a small person from a small town talking so many big jargons. But yes, the whole idea, Prakash, why we are doing, and I totally appreciate your initiative of Wednesday discussions. It has got nothing to do about a speaker. It has got to do about the audience, these 20 people who are there together right now.
True.
Half an hour in their life, there's a food for thought which might trigger some of the points which was already sitting in their subconscious. And this is the forum where they can speak out. So we will definitely try to exchange some views. Yes,
definitely,
Prakash.
sir. One more last question before I also take their views, or the audiences, they also may have been having some questions to you.
Yeah.
One last question is here, sir, is I'm sure there's a quote, in fact, we actually cannot satisfy everyone. That's a quote which I've heard. So is it true, or what do you feel is what I wanted to ask you?
Yeah, you are right. See, why do we have to satisfy others? Right? If you will do something wrong and they will feel better, do you really want to do that? No. So I've been talking the things which is within your control.
Yes.
You have to focus on the task which has been given you from organization, from family, from society, as a citizen, as a human, as an individual.
Correct.
Now, if you're on a right path and you can see yourself in a mirror that no, you are on the right path, then you will not have to get affected by the outcome of this path.
Oh.
Because on this path, you are brushing aside many shoulders, which you don't want to, but it happened. So what is more important, the path or making them happy? I will go with the rightful path which we have to go through. And eventually, people will understand that what sort of a path you are on, what sort of a person you are on, they will start understanding for you. And if they start understanding, good for you. If they doesn't, even then also you'll have to pursue your own path.
Rightly said, sir. Wonderful. So that means it's not necessary that we don't have to satisfy everybody is what. It's very, very true. That's what you're coming out. I'm also agreeing to it, sir. Very nicely told. Excellent, sir. Sir, I would now give the opportunity for the audience as well. And in case any one of the members as well as our visitors who are in here today, any questions you would like to ask Mr. Manvendra before I share a quiz, definitely please go ahead and kindly raise your hand and we will unmute you.
So Prakash, in the meantime,
yes,
they are coming to you, they are deciding who will go first or why should I go. Let me explain you
yes, sir.
why I am here, right? So all of us are unique in our own parameters. We are pursuing our career and we have been very successful in our own ways.
True.
We are all are on our own trajectory. We need not have to compare with anyone, right?
Rightly said.
Now, the only reason what we are trying, these are the principal universal truth. It comes from your scriptures, it comes from your managerial school of thoughts, all your processes. We are talking the consistent baby steps. There is no shortcut in life. And these things, no matter how theoretical it sounds, it worked for me and it can work for others as well. So that is the only inspiration which we are trying to discuss through in a very brief discussion.
Yes.
And maybe if someone will have something very interesting, very detailed discussion, we will take it offline or maybe separate in some other forum.
True. Definitely. So let's go ahead with some of the questions, sir. Then that means any of our guests who have any questions, I believe Shanta Ram has a question to ask. He's raised the hand. We will unmute you, Shanta Ram, just a moment. Yeah, Shanta Ram, you can speak now.
Good evening, sir. It is nice hearing to you, the candidness in which you were talking about and putting to rest all the jargons and stuff. I really love the way how you made the complicated things into simple words and saying that this is what it is. When you were talking about the results not being in our hand, the only things that we can do is our actions, which is in our control. The thing that is hitting me is the corporate world in which we are working right now is result oriented. Whatever I'm going to do, it is not going to impress my supervisor or my boss. It is ultimately about the results. Although what you said is true, in real life, I'm finding it difficult to adopt it.
Sir, was it audible to you or?
Yeah. I was just waiting for the entire question to get over. So now I believe the question is over.
Yes.
Yeah, the question is over. I don't know how to frame my question, but this is the
No, don't
dilemma.
worry. Don't worry. This was the whole idea of that discussion. Let's not spend time on the packaging. Let's talk the content, right? So let's not worry about framing. I got the idea now. What I was talking was a universal truth, right? It is coming from your Srimad Bhagavad Gita also. Karmanya vadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. No, you will say, no, sir, that's a spiritual world I will do pursue after 60, but right now I'm in a corporate world. My boss doesn't understand. But what I was trying to say that universal truth, the macro, will help you when you are at work, when you are with your boss, when you are at your home with your family, right? So you are saying, keep doing your work, don't worry about the outcome. It's a very good philosophy, but in corporate world, you have to deliver objective. Now, taking the example of your corporate goal, you had a budget at the beginning of the year, you had your own objectives, and every month there was a cycle, there was a monthly cycle, quarterly review, half yearly review. And what we've been talking? We have been talking that whatever role was assigned to you religiously, ritual-wise, you have to adhere to it. And that doesn't mean if the strategy is not working, you will keep on repeating the same strategy. You have to tweak it. You have to be open. But the Shantaram, who can have so much of courage to go as a first question, can speak his mind in that forum in the group. That, sir, I've been doing, but help me out. This is what is not working. So that fearlessness will be there. That fearfulness has gone, Shanta, and you will be least concerned about the disaster because you are prepared for it. You believe in yourself. You did best. And that was the only thing which was holding us back. We were so much into our corporate objective that we thought that our own personal say is not important. But that is the other way around. I was trying to tell you from beginning. The corporate philosophy, the corporate success was dependent on the individual. An individual has to be at best of him. If Shanta has to believe in himself, he can convince his superiors, his coordinates, his subordinates, and together as a team, we can work it out. So no matter what you think, you don't have any option. You have to follow this. And after this talk, just as a lab test, go for it. And if anything goes wrong, you tell them, Manvendra told me what to do. But I'm telling you, it will not go wrong. You'll be most content and satisfied person.
Wonderful,
I get you,
wonderful.
sir. Thank you.
Great, Manvendra. Thank you very much for sharing. Any other, Shantaram, I believe you got the answer.
I saw Dr. Raghu's hand going up.
Oh yeah, his hand is again up.
And this was the person with whom I was so scared. I said, Dr. Raghuram Rajan, how can I speak?
Yeah, so Dr. Raghu, you would like to ask any question to Mr. Manvendra? If so, I request you to unmute yourself. We'll give you the option as well, Mr. Raghu.
First, namaskar, sir. The way which you say something else, I'm very much impressed for this thing, sir. Forget about the doctor,
You,
all the things.
my job is done. My job is done. Thank you.
See, whatever I'm telling one thing, sir. Whatever the degree we have, I have almost 5 degrees, PhD, all the things are only 20% only.
So,
my experience plays a vital role for me to growth in my life is 80%. Degree is only 20%, experience is 80%. In this context only, I would like to seek a clarification. I'm not here to ask question. You're also a very senior person. You're also CEO. I am also CEO of the company. I know how much of tension you are undergoing. All those things are there. So the current day managers, just we'll have supplementary your views. Current day managers, you said you can utilize the potential of the people, identify the potential, utilize the potential very effectively. Thereby, you can increase the productivity. You said there is a saying: pressure make or break. A pressure make or break. If a person undertakes a pressure, probably he may come out. He may come out successful. If he breaks because of the pressure from the external or internal factors through a peer group or through subordinate or through a senior people, as well as an individual first to become individual. But are they really managers? Are they really identifying the potential of the, the lower level people? Thereby they can groom them, they can have a successive plan. Is it possible the current trend? All are focusing only outcome. The bottom line is outcome. Any bottom line is outcome only is required for the, how much you did it there, either day on the day or month end, whatever you want to say, say. Is it the role of a manager really, are they doing that to identify the potential of the individual and come out and make them to grow in such a way, and then keep them alive for these things instead of putting a pressure on them.
Okay.
Too many
So
questions.
if I would, yeah, if I would like to rephrase it, so saying that
Rephrase it.
as a leader, your question is it's our role to identify the potential of our team members,
Yes.
and if we are able to identify the potential of the team members, then we'll be able to place them appropriately, get the work accordingly done. And instead of identifying their potential, we
Pressure.
just only give them a work and dominate the subordinates. Is that what you're saying? Am I right, sir?
Exactly. Put the pressure on them, then get the work done. They are not identifying the potential. Is it the order of the day, or I was also industry man? I'm asking you.
Done.
Okay.
Done, sir. Yes.
So,
go ahead, sir.
our common objective is to build the business, right? In a corporate parlance, we are talking how to exceed our objectives day by day, year by year. We are trying to build the business. But I'm saying business will only be built if you have built your organization.
Yes.
And this PhD, this MBA was a prerequisite. It was a 20% to get you on this role. But now the 80% is how you react to the stimuli, how you react to the circumstances. And that is where the individual excellence come in play. Now, as a leader, as a manager, your job is not to fish for him, but if you can make him learn the art of fishing, you have fed him for his life. So no matter which question will come to me, my answer will always go on one thing, that we are all MBAs and the doctors. Before anything else, we are human. We are individual. We have our own reptilian brain, fight or plight. Now with the circumstances, within your team, within your organization, you can create such a great camaraderie, such a great teamwork, that there is no room for pressure. Pressure doesn't have any other option to break or make. It has only one option of make. If it is breaking, we are responsible because we have not given the environment them to break it. Right? So, doctor, we are on the same page, and it's a long process, and I'm very happy that we are all talking the same languages, and good for Prakash to facilitating this platform. We can overcome any corona, we can overcome any economic turmoil till the time we believe in ourselves. And of course, we have to adapt ourselves. What you were there, doctor, 10 years ago, you have adapted. Today, after 10 years, you have improved, you enhanced, you inculcated the new skills. This is what we humans have to do. There is no room for any negativity, for any price check. All we have to do is keep doing our work, and we are doing fine. We are on a laptop, we are seeing each other, we have been very blessed. And let's take this opportunity, this half an hour, to make it even better after this discussion.
Definitely.
That's the only one thing is YGB. You got to believe yourself.
Yes.
Exactly. Exactly.
Rightly said, sir. Great. So
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for the nice explanation. We both
Yes.
are sailing on the same boat. Only thing is here and
Right.
there. You have to adapt yourself. Adaptability is more important thing. Yes.
Right.
So thank you very much, Raghuram.
Thank you, sir. Thank you,
Very
sir.
nice. And thanks, Manvendra, sir. So I'll just take a couple of more minutes in explaining or summarizing some of the points. But before I summarize, I have a small quiz here I would like to share. And let me share first in fact, I would say the last week's quiz winner for us, so that we are able to quickly know the last week's quiz winner. Yeah, the last week's quiz winner are these two. One is Mr. Ramakrishnan from Parley Agro, as well as Mr. Raghuram from Gen Solutions. Thank you, Raghuram. You're already in here. So yes, so what is this quiz all about? And let me tell you, Mr. Ramakrishnan as well as Mr. Raghuram has won the Mask Leadership Online 360-degree feedback assessment for free, which is worth of rupees 4,000. They have actually won by answering the right question during the quiz last week. So very simple, the 360-degree feedback assessment. is all about, as in fact Mr. Manvendra said, first knowing about yourself. Definitely that's what it is. And 360 degree, right from your, how do your superiors, subordinate or colleagues, how do they feel about your leadership competencies, and how you'll be able to constantly grow. So in fact, they have won that 360 degree online feedback assessment questionnaire. Great. So let's move ahead with today's quiz. So are we all ready for the today's quiz? If so, kindly type in the chat box ready, and I'm going to ask you all a question. And let's see who is the lucky winner for this week's quiz, which is going to be again this particular the Mask Leadership 360 degree feedback is going to be worth of rupees 4,000, going to be free for you. So are we all ready for the quiz? If you can just type in the chat box, let me see yes in the chat box. Type yes in the chat box if you're ready. Let me see how many yeses are coming. Oh, I'm yet to see. Okay, great. So some of the yeses are coming in. Great. Thank you very much. So the quiz question is going to be very, very simple. In fact, Mr. Manvendra Singh told that as a leader to grow, there are two things. One is we need to focus on what is in our control, or we need to focus in what is not our control. So what do you think is the right answer? Please do type in the chat box what is the right answer. I would request you to type in the chat box. We need to focus what is in our control, or we should focus in what is not in our control. So what is the right answer you feel? So Mr. Nagaraj Maheshi is writing the right answer, which is what is in our control. Very excellent, Nagaraj. Congratulations. Type clap, clap, clap in the chat box. Nagaraj, you will definitely get this Mask Leadership online 360 degree feedback assessment for free. Since you have there, I would request you to kindly unmute yourself, Mr. Nagaraj. Mr. Nagaraj, kindly unmute yourself and turn on your
video. Yeah, unmuted. It is raining here. I don't know whether I'm audible.
Raining, is it?
Yeah.
Is that what you told?
A lot of rain. So, yeah. Is it audible?
Yes, it is very much audible. Thank you. Thank you very much that you answered in the right, you have answered it rightly. And with that is what you've understood. So you also get an opportunity to ask any question to Mr. Manvendra Singh, Nagaraj. Any question you have to Mr. Manvendra Singh?
Because, we tend to believe in negative feelings all the time.
Yeah.
So positivity has to be maintained at all the times, and then we have to keep up our momentum of positivity since morning to evening. What is the art of doing that? Some techniques can be told. Keeping that positivity in the corporate life.
Nagaraj, you are absolutely right. We get tempted to think something which scares us, fears us, and the mind goes there very fast. But the only tips which comes to my mind is that it is coming all the way from Guru Shishya Parampara. You have to believe in it. You have to try it out. From here onwards, you will have to take it as a lab, as a test. Only and only you have to be positive, think positive, and you'll start getting the results. So it's like a reprogramming. Yeah. Since the childhood, we were neutral, but the way the conditions affected us, we started reacting in a manner which you have just explained. Yeah. So now again, we have to reprogram. We have to reboot the whole system. And this is the best time when we are doing nothing except rebooting ourselves, our life. Now onwards, start believing in positivity. Things will start happening, because believe me, the central processing unit which you have got here is so powerful that this is where everything is controlled, and you are not using it. You are just getting carried away, but whatever messages is coming from the ears, you are letting it process. Don't let that happen. You put your own feed in the processor, and processor will get you such a remarkable result. It is a daily ritual which will start getting you some far-fetching results in a couple of years, but still you are young. You are halfway through, and you will start believing it. And at least if Prakash has made me talk to you, you just blame it on me that I told you it will happen. So believe in that and do it.
Thank you very much.
Great, great. Thank you very much, Mr. Manvendra. So let me take some time to quickly summarize of what are the key points also being shared, so that will help us. And I would like to do that through this particular model. Members as well as visitors, you all are aware about this. That's what we've been sharing. for the last 3 weeks. One is that there are 5 elements of leadership. That's what we've been discussing. One is the productive habits. That's what, in fact, even Mr. Manvendra also was talking about, perseverance, discipline, positivity. So on the other side, we have something called as the unproductive habits. We call it as the unproductive habits like complaining, blaming, negativity. So that means first we need to start demonstrating productive habits on one side. And if we have to do that, it's very, very necessary that we stop demonstrating unproductive habits like blaming, negativity, domination. A couple of people are sharing about those points. How do we do this? And that is what is possible only through our skills. And those are the skills, in fact, the last week's speaker also highlighted to us about the key skills, what are the required, and the skills are the key things which is going to help us out. Whether are we communicating with the productive habits, or are we communicating with unproductive habits? Are we taking decision with the productive habits or unproductive habits? So in today's context, as Mr. Manvendra Singh has highlighted to us, is about the next one, the next essential leaders of essential leadership skills are positive feelings. And that is what, in fact, we've been discussing. So as rightly said, Manvendra told that they are the outcome, and positive feelings are the outcome of productive habits. I'm sharing it here. The positive feelings here, the red ones here, you're able to see the positive feelings are the outcome of the productive habits. And that's what very relevantly, in fact, Mr. Manvendra told, as keeping on insisting us to stay within our focus of control, that how often we think that we are capable, we need to keep thinking that it's possible amongst us. Fear is not at all there. It is only within our thinking process that fear, and we'll be able to overcome. So all those works out. The positive feelings is an outcome of productive habits. So very relevantly told, Mr. Manvendra Singh, I'm able to capture most of the glimpses, and I've just shared it across to you all. So with this, all this is where we have understood in this today's context. So for the members here, please do we have our Leaders Connect, the Mask Leadership community in the Telegram. So please do type your learnings in the Telegram, what all the learnings or takeaways you have got from here. For the visitors who have attended here today, if you wish to be a part of the Mask Leadership community, Manish, kindly type my mobile number on the chat box. It is available. Please do invite more of the other people. Our whole mission is to create more strong leaders. And how do we create? We help people create leaders in understanding themselves about them more clearly with our 360-degree assessment, and how practically people are really demonstrating is what we will be able to see. Some people like Manvendra Singh who has come here for us today. So my number is there in the chat box here. So visitors who would like to join this Mask Leadership community, which happens week after week, every Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. to 7:15 p.m. You can always see that we invite one top management person from a corporate industry to share the live experiences so that we are able to move in the same direction, and we also have a constant growth. So with all these things, we have our next week's speaker I would like to introduce. Our next week's speaker is also one of the important persons from a different industry. He is the Vice President of HR from Apollo Hospitals Group, which is Mr. Natarajan B, and Apollo Hospital Education Research, and he is the Vice President HR there, and he's had intensive around 28 plus years of experience being into this industry. He also has been worked across different industries, and people would like to definitely take a lot of learnings from him, and especially in today's times, how the hospital industry, what it is and how we actually manage a lot of other things, we actually get learnings from him as well, Mr. Natarajan. So stay tuned and do register for the next week's Leaders Connect as well. So that's all for this week. So Manvendra sir, I would only ask you one final thing, if you like to share to our members and the visitors and guests who are here in this community today. What is that one particular point you would like to tell all the members and the visitors who are here in the room today?
Prakash, we have given 45 minutes of our life.
Yes.
It has got nothing to do about that speaker.
True.
It was your 45 minutes.
Rightly said.
Right? please take this as an opportunity to have some introspection. Some triggers, some points came to your mind, don't let it go. Write it down, focus it, it will expand. If people are saying repetitively same thing, believe in it, don't doubt it, and you will start finding these lectures changing your life because they didn't do anything, but you let it happen to yourself. So it was your workshop, you have given 45 minutes of your life, please take best out of it, and I'm telling you, world is going to be beautiful, you are going to be even more comfortable than before, and it's a good platform. Some topics are discussed, some questions are done, but more than anything else, all these participants, I can see 25 of them, something going in their subconscious mind. That is the most powerful thing. We provided an environment, a thinking, it was like a meditation going on. Some bright idea came to your mind, don't let it go. It is trying to tell you something. Hear that signal, hear that message. It can be a turning point of your life. Thanks a lot, Prakash.
Thank you very much, Manvendra. It was really, really great. Thanks for taking your precious time to be a part of this particular online mask leadership community as well. It was very, very inspiring, and I'm sure, as you rightly told, there'll be a lot of points which would have got and would have struck our subconscious mind for us to do something. And as we talk is what we get it. So great, sir. Thanks very much. And here we'll play the final thanking video for all the participants here for us today who are present. So let's play this thanking video. Great. So thank you one and all for being in here. Thank you very much, Mr. Manvendra Singh, for taking your one time once again. It was a really, really excellent session which you have shared with our members as well as visitors here. So thank you all. And sir, anything else you would like to share with them?
No, thanks a lot.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you all.